Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. I'll be taking your phone calls tonight on the Borders to Borders hotline at 412-575-2600. And joining me over at the 93.7 The Fan Cam is Jeff Hatthhorn, another guy that endured that fun game over at Acrisure Stadium last night. A very fun locker room, too, after the game. And I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, it's week 14. It's the same storyline. It gets old. I mean, at some point, when do you just rip things up and start over again? Because obviously what they're doing is not working. I mean, what is your plan of attack right now, Jeff? What do you do? Help me.
Well, I think I can't help you for this season. I think that ripping up and that reshaping and all of that happens in the offseason. I don't think, firing the head coach with 4 weeks to go honestly makes a lot of sense. I know people are going to be fired up. They want Tomlin out, and that if Tomlin leaves, they're going to go on a 4-game winning streak and win the Super Bowl like the Penguins have done it, where they've gone on to win the Stanley Cup. The problem is the Steelers don't have that kind of offensive talent, and I don't care who your coach is, they're not going to fix it overnight. This thing needs an overhaul, and I think if you wait till the end of the season, you got a better feel, especially on maybe a couple of young guys that get 4 more games to kind of show what they can do. But this overhaul is not going to be one fix, and it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, we can't fire Canada anymore, and I don't look for guys to get fired. And I've never been one of those guys here that says Mike Tomlin needs to lose his job. But, I mean, at some point, maybe a change of scenery does both sides better, right? I don't know that. I mean, and I'm not saying that Mike Tomlin should lose his job. I mean, I like Mike Tomlin. He's done a lot of good things here. But maybe he needs to change the way he operates, or maybe they should start looking at and going in a different direction.
No, I think you hit on it. Listen, I think Mike Tomlin is a heck of a football coach, and I agree with all those national pundits that say he would find a job easily. Well, that's fine. Andy Reid would find a job easily, and Philadelphia recovered very well after losing Andy Reid. It's about the organization, not just one coach. So for as much as there be national people that would lose their mind that the Steelers somehow aren't the Steelers or won't be any good because they don't have Mike Tomlin anymore, they don't study the league that they say they study, because there have been a lot of coaches that have switched or that have gone, and it's been a win-win for both sides. And I think we're getting to that point. To be fair, I want to see how this season plays out in its entirety, but I think we're getting really close to that point where, a switch is in the cards. And, Ray Fittipaldo pointed this out. You're not going to bring Mike Tomlin back for a 1 year. You're either going to bring him back and extend him, or you get rid of him after this year. That's the decision the Steelers have to make, because who are you going to get as an offensive coordinator if you say, well, we've got a lame duck head coach? You're going to get the same type of crap that we've seen at offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this for a while now. I think Tomlin will get a job in 10 minutes if he was ever fired here. But I don't know what you do.
And that's great.
I mean, is it a realistic possibility?
That doesn't mean the Steelers don't need to make a change.
You're right. Is it a realistic possibility? I mean, there's only 1 year left, so what do? They're not going to eat the money, right, and just let him go. I mean, can you trade him? I mean, what can you do? Can you guys both mutually part ways? You let Tomlin find a job, like, in like a backdoor kind of way? I mean, what happens?
I mean, there's all kind of those types of options where maybe he gets the money that he was owed in some other way. And they let him go. There's different things they can do, but I'm not saying that it's over. I think there are 4 games to play out and see where it's at. And I'm not saying that from my standpoint. I'm trying to tell you from a Steelers standpoint, they're going to let this season play out. They're not going to fire their head coach. Yes, they did something radical for them and fired their offensive coordinator. They're not going to change head coaches during a season. They're just not going to do it. They're going to evaluate after, and in some respects, that is the smartest thing to do. Let everybody sit in a room. Don't make a rash decision. Think about what your options would be if you would get rid of him, where you think he would go, how much you could have him change his staff to the way you want it. I mean, you have to flush all those things out.
Yeah, there's no way he gets fired this year, and I don't actually think he gets fired in the offseason. to tell you the truth. I mean, that's kind of the way I feel. But, there has to be a complete overhaul kind of changes, especially in the offense, although the defense is responsible for some of these losses here now, too. All right, we got to take a break. We got a jam phone line right now, and I also want to get into, do you keep Trubisky in there? I mean, I only had 1 day of practice. Do we give him a break? Do we continue with him? The fans are already chanting for Mason Rudolph, even though they booed him in the preseason. We've got all these things to talk about. Stay right there.